Hello, I'm Susan and welcome to Prana Life. I hope you are doing well and thank you for joining me for this vinyasa class. In this class, we will be working through a yang to yin sequence. And in the beginning, we will be warming up with rounds of sun salutations A, B, and C before working through other asana to generate internal heat in the body to warm the muscle tissues as well as the connective tissues beneath. We will then transition to our yin poses. We'll be holding most yin poses for 3 minutes. I recommend that you have nearby a block and a strap to modify poses as needed. When we are working through the yin asana, I have a timer that I will be looking at occasionally while I'm in the pose with you to ensure that we're holding that pose for just about 3 minutes and no more. Towards the end of the class, we will be on our back and we will do a supine hand to big toe hold, in which we're laying on our back and one leg will be upright perpendicular. You can use your strap around your foot to hold it up if you don't have the flexibility to reach your big toes with your peace fingers. For this part, we're only holding that leg upright for 1.5 minutes before we drop the leg over to the side, and then we're holding it for 1.5 minutes. So all in all, that part A and B is really a 3-minute hold. If you enjoy this class, I ask that you please like it. If you enjoy my content and want to continue practicing with me, please subscribe to my channel, leave any comments that you wish. So grab any items that you need, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat. Surya Namaskara A, starting in Mountain Pose Tadasana. Inhaling, arms into upward salute, exhaling into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, stepping back into downward dog or choosing a chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Long, smooth breaths, deep into the belly. Inhale, stepping forward into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Downward dog or choosing chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Grounding through the hands and the feet. Inhale, stepping to the front of the mat to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stepping back into downward dog or choosing chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Inhale, stepping to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, mountain pose Tadasana. Surya Namaskara B. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stepping back into downward dog or choosing chaturanga vinyasa. Inhaling as you step the right foot through into warrior one. Exhale, hands to mat, downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Inhaling as you step the left foot through the hands, coming into warrior one. Exhale, hands to mat, downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Long, smooth breaths deep into the belly. Inhale, stepping to the front of the mat into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling into chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhaling into chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Inhale, right foot steps through the hands, warrior one. Exhale, hands to mat, downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Inhale, left foot steps through the hands, warrior one. Exhale, hands to mat, downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Inhale, stepping into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Inhale, stepping the right foot through, warrior one. Exhale, hands to mat, downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Inhale, stepping the left foot through the hands, warrior one. Exhale, hands to mat, downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Inhale, stepping to the front of the mat into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into chair. Exhale, mountain pose. Surya Namaskara C. Hands in prayer at chest. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping the left foot back. Inhale, crescent moon lunge. Long exhale, hands to mat. High plank, 8-point pose. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, stepping the left foot through the hands. Crescent moon lunge. Exhale, hands to mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Hands in prayer at chest, Tadasana. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping the left foot back. Inhale, crescent moon lunge. Long exhale into plank pose, then 8-point pose. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step the left foot through the hands, crescent moon lunge. Exhale, hands to mat. Inhale into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands in prayer at chest. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, the left foot steps back. Inhaling into crescent moon lunge. Long exhale, hands to mat, plank pose, 8-point pose. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step the left foot through the hands, crescent moon lunge. Exhale, hands to mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands at prayer at heart, Tadasana. Coming into mountain pose, hands by your side. Placing your hands on your hip and stepping your right foot sideways to the mat, getting ready for wide-legged standing forward fold. Inhale, exhale as you fold forward, placing your hands on the mat in line with your feet. Long, smooth breaths into the belly, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling into a halfway lift, placing your hands in Yoga Mudra behind your back. Exhaling, folding forward again. Inhale, halfway lift, placing peace fingers around your big toes. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to hips. Inhale as you rise up. Other placing hands in reverse prayer behind the back or grabbing your elbows, shifting with the right leg forward. Inhale and exhale as you fold your body over your right leg in for pyramid. Your drishti is on your big toe. Long, smooth breaths into the belly. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhale, rising up, shifting to have your left foot forward. Inhale. Exhale as you fold forward, gazing again at your big toe. Inhale, rising up, stepping to the front of the mat in Tadasana. We will now be coming into some balancing poses, so finding a secure footing. And when ready, you're going to be grabbing your right foot with peace fingers around your right big toe. Finding a drishti, maintaining your balance. When ready, extending that right foot forward. Steady breaths into a lightly engaged core. Releasing the toe, continuing to hold the right leg up. And then coming into eagle pose, finding your balance. Coming out of eagle pose. Hands in prayer at chest, your right knee is bent. Shifting your gaze to find a drishti on the floor as you transition into warrior three. Steady breaths into a lightly engaged core. Exhale, stepping back into high lunge. And when ready, extending your arms overhead. Full even breaths into an engaged core. Breathing past the diaphragm. Exhale, hands to mat for downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Long, smooth breaths deep into the belly. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhale into a halfway lift at the front of the mat. Getting peace fingers around your big toes, exhaling into a forward fold. Long inhale into halfway lift, and then transitioning into chair pose, Utkatasana. Full even breaths into an engaged core. Exhale into mountain pose, Tadasana. Finding your drishti point, and when ready, bending your left knee and grabbing your big toe with your peace fingers, maintaining your balance, extending your leg. Releasing the toe as hands come to the hips. Your left leg is still extended forward. Coming into eagle pose, finding your balance first, and then positioning your arms as you lower down. Full even breaths into an engaged core. Finding that drishti to maintain your balance. Inhale, arms up by the side, the left knee is bent, hands come into prayer at chest, shifting your drishti gaze to a floor, and slowly transitioning into warrior three as you hold that drishti point on the floor. Steady breaths into a lightly engaged core. Exhale, stepping back into high lunge, hands in prayer, extending your arms overhead. Full even breaths into an engaged core. Exhale, hands to mat for downward dog or chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog. Long, smooth breaths deep into the belly. Inhaling into halfway lift at the front of the mat. Placing your hands underneath your feet and exhaling as you fold forward for gorilla pose. Long inhale into a halfway lift, and then transitioning into chair pose. Full even breaths into an engaged core, breathing past the diaphragm. Exhale into mountain pose, Tadasana. Taking a few moments to ground before we start our last sequence of yang poses. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stepping back into downward dog or choosing a chaturanga vinyasa. In downward dog. Inhale as you step the right foot through, windmilling the arms up into warrior two. Full even breaths into an engaged core. Inhaling into exalted warrior. Exhale into extended side angle. Continuing full even breaths into an engaged core. Exhale both hands to mat for lizard pose. Exhale as you lower to your forearms for a deeper stretch in lizard. Inhale, returning to hands as you step the right foot back into downward dog or choosing a chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog, grounding through the hands and the feet. Long, smooth breaths. Inhale as you step the left foot through the hands and windmill up into warrior two. Inhale into exalted warrior. Exhale into extended side angle. Exhale into lizard pose. Exhale as you lower to your forearms for a deeper stretch in lizard. Inhale, placing hands on mat as you step your foot back and come into a downward dog or choose a chaturanga vinyasa. Holding in downward dog for a few breaths. We'll be transitioning into shoulder press, Bhuja Padasana, which we practiced a couple classes ago. If you wobble and fall out of the pose, it's okay. Just keep trying to practice. Stepping the feet forward and then placing the palms behind the heels of the feet as you lower your hips down and you cross your feet, extending and pressing up at your shoulders and slowly lowering those feet off the mat as you balance on your arms. Placing feet together as you come into a halfway lift and then exhale into ragdoll, forward fold. Swinging back and forth, side to side. Inhale into a halfway lift, stepping back into a high plank, lowering to the mat, placing your forehead on the back of your hands for prone pose. Allowing your breath to slow down for a few moments. If you've generated a lot of internal heat, you can inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth to start to cool the body. Placing forehead onto the mat and hands by your side, getting ready for cactus arms. Inhaling the upper body into locust pose. The feet remain on the floor. Full even breaths into an engaged core. Exhale, lowering forehead to mat, returning to prone pose. Placing forehead on the mat, arms by your side in cactus. Exhaling into locust pose, feet and arms, chest off the mat. Full even breaths into an engaged core, breathing past the diaphragm. Exhale, lowering forehead to mat and returning to prone pose. Remaining here for a few breaths, allowing your heart rate to slow down. If you've generated internal heat, once again, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth to start to cool your body down as we prepare to transition into our yin poses. Inhaling into tabletop as you transition into wide leg extended child's pose, balasana, forehead on the mat, arms extending forward, using this time as an act of surrender while using the breath to create space and stillness in the body and mind. Inhaling through tabletop as you bring the right leg forward to prepare for pigeon pose, lowering onto your forearms for the first minute. Long, smooth breaths deep into the belly, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Remembering in our yin poses to move in a pain-free range. The poses should be held on the edge, which is slight discomfort of tension and tightness as we allow the connective tissue to release and loosen. Trying to keep your mind on one point, focusing on your breath if you wish. Lowering the forehead and body to the mat for a deeper stretch if you wish. Continuing long, smooth breaths, using the breath to create space and stillness in the body and mind. Inhale, transitioning through tabletop, knees together, lowering down into Balasana, child's pose, arms extended forward, forehead on the mat, holding here for a few breaths. Coming into pigeon pose on the left side, coming onto our forearms first, continuing long, smooth breaths deep into the belly, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, keeping awareness on our breath to create space and stillness in the body and mind. Lowering body and forehead to the mat if wanting a deeper stretch. Inhale, transitioning once again through tabletop, coming into child's pose, Balasana, embryo, forehead to the mat, arms by your side. Inhale into tabletop, scooching forward on your mat, crossing your ankles and rolling back to seated. Using a block in front of your feet if you're looking for a deeper stretch in seated forward fold. Sitting in Dandasana for a few breaths. Extending the arms for either your feet or the block and exhaling as you fold forward. Continuing long, smooth breaths deep into the belly. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Keeping your awareness on your breath to keep your mind from jumping Also allowing that breath to create space and stillness in the body and mind. Inhale as you return to staff pose Dandasana. And then transition into reverse plank for a couple breaths. Exhale, returning to staff pose Dandasana. And then transitioning lengthwise to your mat, coming into dragonfly, using your block if you wish. Toes flexed and lowering onto the forearms to start. Continuing long, smooth breaths. Option to remain on forearms or lower your body and forehead to the floor for a deeper stretch. You can use the block to put underneath your forehead if you wish. Inhale as you slowly rise up, and then bring your knees close to your chest and wrap your arms around them for a big hug, straightening and extending your spine through the crown. Turning to face the front of the mat and lowering onto your back. You might want to have your strap nearby. Straightening out the right leg. The left knee is bent, and then grabbing your left foot close to the back of your pelvis and coming into half saddle as you roll onto your back and extend your arms overhead. If this pose is too much for you lying on your back, you can come up and be on your forearms. Continuing long, smooth breaths deep into the belly. Closing your eyes here if you wish. Keeping your awareness on your breath. Rolling onto your right side as you now extend your left leg flat on the mat, bending your right knee, and then rolling slightly onto the left side and coming into half saddle with the right leg bent. Remembering that if the pose is too deep of a stretch while lying on your back, you can come up onto your forearms, arms extended overhead, keeping your awareness on your breath, closing your eyes if you wish. Rolling slightly onto your left side to release your right leg and bringing both feet to the mat, knees pointing towards the ceiling. Coming into constructive Shavasana for a few breaths. Using a strap, if you wish, and placing it around your left foot as you straighten and extend your right leg. And then with your left arm, holding the strap as your left leg is extended upward towards the ceiling. Placing your right hand on your hip. Continuing long, smooth breaths. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, deep into the belly. We'll be here for about 1.5 minutes before we lower the left leg to the side. With your strap slowly guiding the left leg down to the floor, you can put your right arm out perpendicular to your body with the palm facing up. If you're holding on to your left big toe with your peace fingers, you would have also guided your left leg down to the side. Holding here for 1.5 minutes. Inhaling as you guide that left leg perpendicular to the body, slowly bending the knee, taking the strap off or releasing your fingers, bending both knees, feet on the mat, holding here for a couple breaths. Extending the left leg, and now switching sides as we bring the right foot up, extending the leg, either using your strap or you have your peace fingers around your right big toe. Slowly guiding and lowering your right leg to the side. Your left arm may be perpendicular to your body with your left palm facing up. Inhaling as you guide the right leg back up, releasing your peace fingers, bending both knees, taking a couple breaths here. Coming into double knee twist, we will be twisting to the right side first. Left arm extended out perpendicular to the body with the palm facing up, either looking straight up at the ceiling or gazing over your left arm. Closing your eyes here if you wish. Continuing long, smooth breaths deep into the belly. Keeping awareness on your breath to create space, then stillness in the body and mind. Inhaling, feet to the mat, knees pointing to the ceiling, and then windshield wipering the legs back and forth. And when ready, coming into a double knee twist on the left side. Right arm extended perpendicular to the body, palm facing up. Your head is either positioned to look straight up at the ceiling, or you can gaze over your right arm. Closing your eyes here if you wish. Inhaling as knees come up, feet to mat. Once again, windshield wipering the legs back and forth. And when ready, coming into supine bound butterfly pose. Arms extended overhead. Opening the heart space, source of infinite love and wisdom. Coming into Shavasana pose, making yourself comfortable, closing your eyes, Relaxing your jaw, softening your tongue. Breath, long and smooth, deep into the belly. Allowing yourself to rest. Starting to wiggle fingers and toes to bring some awareness back into the body. Extending arms overhead for one big body stretch. And then placing your hands behind your legs as you rock back and forth on your mat, giving your spine a little massage. Coming into Sukhasana Easy Pose. Spine is straight extended through the crown. Palms are resting on your legs. Closing your eyes for some centering breaths. Bringing hands in prayer, Anjali Mudra, to the heart, holding gratitude for this time and practice on your mat today. Bringing hands in prayer, Anjali Mudra, up to your third eye chakra, honoring the sacred light in each of us. Bowing, Namaste.